Aha. Okay, so welcome to my test kitchen. I'm doing this on July 4th because, I mean, nobody's going to be watching it anyway because I'm still figuring out the formatting, etc. So if you happen by, welcome. At the same time, understand that this was, the beginning of figuring out the formatting for these conversational marketing recipes. And this is piece 1, and it's the website. So, let's see, we'll go to this and see if I want to change this. Probably. Okay, so I'm in my test kitchen, and how about go to the start and click present. All right, so website for Irwin Animal Clinic, and let's start with this is based on the premise that currently they don't have a website. And I believe that sharecropping is bad. When you own the business and you're looking to grow the business long term, then doing it on someone else's land is typically not the best idea. And, there's on copyblogger.com, there's multiple articles available that you can go through as far as about sharecropping and why it's a bad idea. Digital sharecropping is bad, but this one came, or my reminder, I guess, came from Jason Resnick, his email that he sent, and he quoted Seth Godin. So, that trusting your content on the internet to the middleman is a dangerous game. If you are building your content on LinkedIn and Facebook, you are sharecropping. Same thing applies for Instagram or Snapchat or whatever you might be doing. Having those outposts for your brand available on those various social networks and social sites or whatever is great, but it all needs to bring them back to land that you control, that you own. It's just like with Irwin Animal Clinic. When you walk in the front door, you walk in the front door of their business, right? They're in control of it. They own all of the intellectual property, blah, blah, blah. And I understand, it's an animal clinic, but the same thing, it applies regardless of the purpose of that brand, which in this instance we're talking about Irwin Animal Clinic. So, all right. The key to everything is the media creation. When you're going online, you need to be creating your own media for your brand. And in order to do that, I went ahead and went simple with some basics as far as the website to get started. So first off, I used Essence Pro, which is a Genesis child theme, and it's $130 if you're starting out fresh. If you're already a member, you may already own it or access to it. If you're, a member, you'll get a discount if you've already bought other themes from Genesis or whatever. But the point is, max is really $130. Pretty basic setup. It's done by Refaltamal. I believe Calvin Kepke was the developer that those two teamed up together. Absolutely just fantastic. I gotta remember to do this. No. Right. So, yeah. I was just explaining about Refaltamal and Calvin Kepke being behind this. So, and I gotta try and remember to keep making the change to where here we go again. All right, so let's go back. So, okay, $100 for managed hosting. This is from Liquid Web, and you can see for $100 you get 10 sites. So this is the marketing side. Consider this the marketing side of Irwin Animal Clinic. So you could put different domain names for the different instances. When they say 10 sites, that's 10 WordPress instances that are managed, that are going to be secure, have SSL, so they're HTTPS. Even when you're building them to begin with, they're from the very beginning. So it's 10 sites, but they're going to start out with using one, obviously. And $100 for the one site when it's going to load really fast, when they're going to have the most helpful humans in hosting providing the support, and when you can get 33% off for the first 3 months. That's why I chose this. Genesis Studio Presses, their Genesis Child theme Essence Pro along with the Genesis framework, coupled with managed WordPress hosting from Liquid Web. So we start on the home page of the website. And, I want to be clear about the home page. Like we talked about earlier, this is a screenshot you're looking at of, or what, it's a image, a picture of, the front door of Irwin Animal Clinic. And when you walk through that front door, that's the home page of their website. So let's say that they get irwinanimalclinic.com, right? Or whatever it may be, they're going to attach a domain name to that. That is going to be their digital land. So every page, every part of that is going to, it's going to all be, I shouldn't have, anyway. So the point is, on the home page, you want to have clarity for them, let them relate to you, start to understand the point of view that you're coming from. That's why each recipe is specific to a singular point of view, this one being Irwin Animal Clinic. The first one was the community bank, my bank for years, up at about 1.5 miles from here. They're about 6.2 miles, I think it is, for Irwin Animal Clinic. I looked it up, so that's why I know. And, here's the basics of the homepage. Whoa. Well, just found out that you can scroll on this mouse. Okay, so the homepage is where we start. We want to make sure that it's clear to people who they are, kind of help them start to relate from the very first instance, as soon as the door opens, if you will. Just like if they walk in the front door, the lady up front is going to greet them with a big smile, asking, let them know that they have, if she's in the middle of something, that she'll be right with them, or just greet them and get them taken care of, as soon as they walk in, right? So we want to treat it the same way. That's a good experience. That starts to break the ice, if you will, when you walk in and she's smiling and she's helpful and getting you exactly what you need for your dog or your cat, or you could be a farmer and looking for help with your animals. Any and all of them are, happy customers of Irwin Animal Clinic. So the focus for the website is upon user experience. And the way that plays out is you have to be able to have a good user experience for strangers that don't know who you are, but they have a local pet, they're local to you, and they're looking for help, right? So in those instances, you want to be able to be found by them on Google, and you also want to make sure that for your customers, you have the ability to give them a better experience is the idea behind the website. And the way that would play out, at least initially, with Irwin Animal Clinic, in my mind, would be, I can't scroll up, would be the account page. And the idea behind it would be setting up a WooCommerce store, through this WordPress installation. And it would be ideal once they get going a little bit to where $250 a month for the one website of managed WooCommerce hosting from Liquid Web is the ideal. All right. I'm going to have to end up editing this. And just like, again, I'm still talking to, I should be doing this more. But the point is that you start to organize the experience for your members around their account page on the website, and then you're able to allow them to view all of their information. You can tie it in to, say, FreshBooks or QuickBooks or point for phase one. Now, for one of the later phases, my goal is to actually sit down with them, walk them through what I put together, and get feedback and reaction and so forth, and use that hopefully in future recipes. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so we have user experience. Speed is key. That's the reason behind Liquid Web Managed WordPress hosting in my mind. I know that Chris Lemma and his team are the driving forces behind managed WordPress and managed WooCommerce products that Liquid Web offers, right? So these are two different products. One is they'll help you get managed WordPress, and then the other one is a higher ticket. It's $250 a month for one site for the managed WooCommerce, but it includes Jilt, it includes Glue.io. If you don't know what those are, they're cart abandonment and analytics and customer segmentation, basically, the two different things. Super helpful when you're running a store, right? So speed, though, is important, and it's important in a couple of ways. So you want to make sure that your page loads. Go to GTmetrix if you haven't already, and gtmetrix.com, I believe, and that's where you'll be able to, put together. Oh, I guess here we go again, huh? Yeah. So GTmetrix is where you'll want to go, and page load speed is important. So let me go back. Speed is important, and then page load speed is extremely important because we don't wait anymore. Especially if we have a fast computer and a fast internet, we don't wait at all. And if we if we're stuck with bad connection or dial-up or whatever, then or the equivalent to dial-up, then we'll wait a little while, but even then, we're not going to wait long. It's just because if someone else can do it a little bit faster, we prefer the speed. So, and that's for every single page of your website, which are all tied to that that root domain name that we talked about, right? So like irwinanimalclinic.com, and then every single page off of that is, you got to have them all load fast is the goal. And the pieces of the page. So it could be video, it could be audio, it could be written stuff, it could be images, all of the above. You're going to want to make sure that people are able to get access to as quickly as possible, right? And the other part is response time, and specifically with something that we're going to come up in, it's piece 4 of this phase, which is the live chat. But it's real important there as well. So the key to unlock everything, I guess, is you have to be in charge of, you have to be in charge of your media. So with Irwin Animal Clinic, that's the thought process behind this recipe, is start a firm foundation because they don't have to try and evaluate every possible permutation available in the marketplace. They can actually say, okay, we'll have a website that works, that's going to load fast. That makes sense. They do their best to keep it secure. They include HTTPS, and they have all of these, they have, oh gosh, what's the name of it? Security. I know that they collaborate with security as well, so these are all wins, right? And so now they don't have to worry about all of that because the big issue is going to be the media. It's the blog post, it's the videos, it's the, audio for, podcast episodes, written articles, how-to articles about pricing, articles about just so many different possibilities that people could want from your specific brand. And in this instance, Irwin Animal Clinic. There's so many different reasons that they could go into a search engine, be that YouTube for video, or if it's, iTunes for podcasts, or if it's, obviously any of the above through Google, or images through Google or whatever. So many different routes that they can find to your website, but the media is going to be the reason they come. They're not going to come because you got this great offer, typically. Like, don't get me wrong, you'll have some at the very bottom of the funnel that have already decided they need something. For instance, they have a dog, they live right next door to Irwin Animal Clinic, and, they're looking to make an appointment, right? Hey, I got a dog, I got to get over there, I want to, introduce you to the dog, or the dog's not feeling well, or, whatever the impetus is, right? But they're going to, for the most part, though, outside of those emergency situations or, critical care or whatever, outside of those, they're coming because of media. They would be looking for, an authority to help them via video or audio or written or whatever, to help them with their dog or their cat or, whatever. So they're looking for that authority, or they're looking to go ahead and convert. In either way, you need speed. You need to be able to have the page load fast, but you also want to make it to where it's catered to what they need. So you want to be prepared for them if they're ready to go ahead and book. Well, hey, let's get them on the schedule ASAP. And if they're not, you want to have the other stuff that can educate them and help them, have a better relationship with their dog or cat or both, and et cetera, et cetera. You want to be able to grow the relationship over time. Yeah. So is that it? All right, good. So I've spent 40 minutes on this first one, and I'm putting all of these directly to my YouTube channel. The idea being that, there's one before this, now this one, and the one before this is a prior version of this. And I'm just iterating because I have to do the original format for the recipes. Well, I had the original format and I've just been iterating it to improve it because it has to be replicable. My goal is to do a bunch of these. So a bunch of different perspectives, individual points of view, where I go through a conversational marketing recipe. I do the first phase of it as a foundation, and then I do additional phases over time where I continue to kind of flesh it out. Because the goal is to find as many non-digital natives that run 1 to 10 person organizations and help them grow their business digitally. Help them fish, teach them to fish, etc., just depending on each of the individual unique contexts and resources and team and so forth. Just understanding that I'm not forcing anyone into a specific framework or whatever. My philosophy is to understand about each individual one and work from there. So we might start in a completely different spot for most recipes, we're going to start in different spots. However, if they don't have a website currently, we're probably going to start there. So like this one and the third recipe, which is Lamar Purvis, LLP, the accountant, CPA, whatever, that my grandfather dealt with and I dealt with and so forth. So, and he's, maybe a mile and a half from here as well, from where I'm at. All right, so that's the first one. I'm going to have to end up editing this, I guess. But, let's see. How do I end it? Oh, 17:38. That's not too terrible. All right,